Greetings, parents. How are you doing? Welcome to our webinar. So happy to have you here. Karibuni sana. Welcome. Even as we continue to admit other parents. Please let me know from the chat box. Is it your first time to be in our webinar? Is this your first time to interact with us as Smart Girl Academy? Let me know in the chat box. It will also help me to know if you can hear me and if I am clear enough. Is it your first time? Is it your second time? If it's your 10th time, because I know I've been doing this. Thank you, Evelina Tieno. You're saying it's your first time. Uh, Herbert, it's your first time as well. First time, Grace. First time, Victoria. Where have you been, parents? Where are you finding me now? Brilliant, brilliant, first time. Bonimpa, first time. Where have you been? Why have you not attended my previous webinars? You've been missing a lot, a lot. I'm looking to see if there's a parent to, a repeat parent. Let me say that. Let me see. Please, if it's your second, fourth, 10th time, let me know. At least I'm not alone. Thank you, Wango. It's your second time. Jojo, it's your first time. Who else? Second time. Stephen, Rose are good. So I'm not strange in this land. Lydia, second time. Esther, second time. Good. Caroline, I'm feeling safe. I've been here throughout. Thank you, Lydia. You know what Lydia is saying is when she says I've been here throughout, because you've been doing these programs for a very long time, especially the virtual programs. So if she says she has been here throughout, maybe she lost count. But oh, it's not Rachel, the fifth time. Amazing. Thank you. This is now my tribe. Grace, I've been here. Amazing. So, those who have not been here, where have you been? What have you been doing? Why have you not interacted with us? You know, this has been home. Thank you, Lois. Longest time. Thank you, Mom Abby. First time parent. Irene, if you are a first time parent to be here, you are safe. And I can assure you, you are not going anywhere. Trust you me, you are not going anywhere. You will stay here. You'll be stuck here. Because in total, only in the WhatsApp communities, because I have a number of WhatsApp communities, I have a total of over now 4,000 parents of girls in WhatsApp communities. They don't leave. That is why I've restricted so that you get the relevant information. So if it's your first time, maybe you found us on a WhatsApp community, or someone forwarded a link to you. The person who forwarded that link, they really, really care. They care about you, they care about your daughter, they care about their well-being. So they really, really care about you, and you'll get to understand why I am saying that. Thank you very much, parents. This is gonna be very interactive. Allow me to acknowledge one of the facilitators. She's called Barbara, who resides in Uganda, Germany. That's how she, yeah, that's you'll find her either in Uganda or Germany, and she's one of our facilitators at Smart Girl Academy. I am not so sure if our other coaches here, Tony. I'm not so sure, but I'll check. Yeah, allow me to appreciate them for being here, for finding time to be here, but also you as a parent. So this is going to be very, very interactive. Um, sorry. This is going to be very, very interactive. So I sent a message out. Please don't come with a notebook because you may not find anything to write. And I was very categorical because as a parent who attended one of our webinars in February, and she was all prepared for the webinar with a note, and we were making fun, and she was telling me, Brenda, I carried a notebook and my pen and I was all set, but I didn't write anything. But you made me think and and figure things out and make decisions as we were in the class. And that is what I want us to do. So for them that are in our WhatsApp group, please, we can only host 100 people. So if your friends mention that they're not able to join, there's a YouTube link that I've shared. Share with them. They'll equally get the benefit of being here. So karibuni sana. Right away we are getting into our session, and so allow me to share my screen. Uh, Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please. Okay. All right. Thank you for yielding to the call. If you are able to share the link with other parents, and I'll tell you why I say that, because your daughter is not an island, you are going to learn a lot in this session, and there's no glory whatsoever when your daughter is empowered, when your daughter is equipped, because if you're equipped, your daughter is as well equipped. So if she's equipped and you are, and their friends are not, it's gonna be a bit hard for her. So that is why I keep on saying, please, you're here, call the parents of your daughter's friends. Let them be here. All right. Again, this webinar is not for girls. This webinar is not for teenagers. This webinar is purely for parents. If you have a teenager who's listening in, it's okay, but they may not benefit a lot. We have a webinar coming up for them. I hope you have seen it somewhere on the socials, coming up in August for them, for our teenagers, for our daughters. So please keep checking so that they don't miss it. So this is me, because most of you have not interacted with me. This is me. My name is Brenda Karimi, and I help adolescent girls rise above the pressure, build resilience, and boldly take charge of their lives. That is what I want for your daughter, intentionally. Like, I'm very, very serious. That's my goal. That is what I want your daughter to achieve and to be. But not only helping girls, because I help them also get the agency, agency where girls can speak for themselves, can talk to themselves, they can make decisions, knowing the consequences of decisions. They can communicate when they need to. They can say no. They are assertive. They know how to self-advocate or self-advocacy. They know how to set boundaries. And that's what I do, giving girls that agency so that they are able to stand up for themselves where you are not there, whether you are there or not. And I do that through mentorship, training, and coaching. I share a lot of content also for parents. And as I mentioned, I have over 4,000 parents who are just on WhatsApp. I keep on empowering them, sharing nuggets with them, my findings with girls. So I help parents understand their daughters better, build stronger emotional connection. And that is why you're here, because I really want you to understand your daughter better. Not because I know her better, but because I have worked with over 10,000 girls here in Kenya. And I always pride myself, by God's grace, by saying that there is no case, there is no story, there is no experience of a girl that will surprise me, because I have seen it all. And parents who were in my last month class, I told them something happened in May, in April, during the school holiday, that really shook me as a coach. I've been saying there is nothing that I've never experienced. No, I know girls' stories. I know what they're saying when they are quiet. I know what is happening, and it's not a cliche. I am coming from that point of understanding girls. If you have worked with over 10,000, and that statistic, we took it around last year, but one. So we are above that right now. In April, one of the girls shocked me, and I was like, "No, yet I'm yet now to see other things." And she said that, and it was a random conversation where she wanted to convert from being a Muslim to a Christian, and the mother was against that, and she was so frustrated. The father was, "It's okay," but the mother was like, "No, you can't do that." And then casually, in passing, without giving a thought, she said something like, "And you know, Brenda, I always knew there's something wrong with me because, you know, I was born through CS, and girls who are born through CS, you know, they are not like normal girls. You know, they are girls who are not loved by God. They are not even loved by their parents. They are not even loved by teachers. And that is why I know, you know, I usually perform so poorly because really the universe is against me." That was said so casually in passing because we had, quote unquote, a bigger elephant ahead of us. You get what I'm saying? And that really shook me. And so whenever I say there is no experience or there's no story of a girl that I've never had, I always give that as an exemption because that came this year after a very long time. So the stories that I hear about girls, they are so familiar. And for parents who I have worked closely with, you know, you can give me a story how your daughter is behaving, and I'll quickly tell you that must be a firstborn, right? Because I know how firstborns behave, how lastborns behave, how girls who are being brought up by a single parent behave, their actions, and especially if it's a single mom. I know that not because of anything, but just because I've worked with so many girls supporting them really. So I want to help parent, or I help parent now understand, if your daughter is behaving like this is what is happening in her inner world, or this is how you need to handle or to treat her, you know, or something like that. But also I have found myself bridging the gap where there's no understanding between parents, between a parent and their daughter, like they can't talk. I remember sometimes this year, I think that was March, I had a conversation with a girl, a 5 hour conversation with a girl, or a meeting with a girl and a mom, where they couldn't, the girl is 17, but they could not talk. And we listen, we don't judge, right? So they could not talk. And when we had that meeting, it was an understanding. It's always a misunderstanding. And they'd said that for the entire last year, you know, not agreeing, not listening to each other, not respecting each other. And so I breathe that gap when there's a misunderstanding. And I find so much joy doing it because then God has graced me. I don't struggle doing that. I do that. It's my purpose, it's my passion. And I am such a good person, a cool person, loved by your teenagers, because there's no girl who has ever come to my class and they get bored or they drop. Sorry to say, but that's the reality. That's the reality, okay? And so I want to ask you, just so that we be on the same page. Why are you here? I know someone sent you the link. I know someone invited you. I know you saw some questions, you know, some weird questions that I shared, and you're like, let me just see. So why are you here for real? Why are you here tonight on a Saturday where you should be resting and maybe preparing for church tomorrow or for your getaway as a family, or you spending time with your family? But why are you here today? Please put it in the chat box. I said you may not have anything to write, but you'll have a lot to type in the comment section so that we are on the same page, so that we have a conversation. Without forgetting, some parents also are on YouTube. I'll also keep on checking, so don't feel left out. So why are you here? Why are you here as a parent? What's your curiosity? Why are you curious? Why are you curious? Why are you here? Why did you decide to join um, this webinar tonight? Um, to understand what is my daughter up to. Okay. What does that mean? But thank you for sharing. Please share why you're here. To understand my girl's world, learn how to handle the topic with my daughter since it's very sensitive. We are topic on sexuality. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that as well. And number one, I want to hear what goes on in these meetings. Oh, welcome. Well, so you're here just because let me just see what goes on. Welcome, welcome on board. I want to be better prepared for my daughter's teenage years, so I assume she's a preteen. Okay. Rachel says, I want to, oops, they're moving fast and furious, to gain better understanding as a mother on how to raise my girl better. I'm eager to understand girls more. I am a mother of girls and I need wealthy knowledge because we are headed to preteens. Okay, I am a parent of girls. I want to know how to relate with my girl, learn how to relate well with my teenage girl. My daughter's my priority. So I'm here to learn how I can help them become better. Thank you, Burial. Mother of a preteen daughter, want to learn and understand. Wow, knowledge is power. I have firstborn daughter. She just turned 13. I want to help my daughter understand her emotions and be a supportive person as opposed to an emotional. To learn how to, oh, good. I'm looking for a village to help raise my daughter. This is the village, and the village is becoming global because we have parents from China, we have parents from South Africa, we have parents in our WhatsApp groups from Malawi, we have parents from German as well, Dubai, we have parents from Scotland, we have parents from Switzerland, Malaysia, we have parents from some states in the America. I mean, we are becoming actually a global village. And so, and even the facilitators who are doing our August programs, they are global in terms of the programs that they have run, their experiences, their teaching experience, mentorship, they are global. Why? Because our daughters are global as well. They are not local. I need to learn and understand myself better at a level of an adolescent so that I can raise a courageous girl. Thank you, Grace, and thank you all for all the messages that you're sharing. Let me just check so that we don't leave our YouTube family um without them being we have a whole 50 of them signed up. I'm here because my daughter believes on sexual. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing. To learn how to handle my daughter in a more understanding way despite the many challenges they face. To understand my girl, that was retract. To learn more as a parent in uh raising a girl. Good. This is the YouTube family. Thank you very much. And so dealing with Gen Z is not easy. Definitely it is not easy. And so this is where we are, and this is what we want with our teenagers. We want them to thrive in class, to succeed, to perform well. That's the joy of every parent. We want them to be excited. We want them to enjoy their life. We want them to, as we help them to grow into house chores and being responsible young girls, so we give them assignments and tasks at home, clean the dishes, clean the shoes, or make some pancakes or an egg, whatever, because we want them to learn really, right? And these are the faces that we want. We want our girls to stand out in their peers, to be a responsible girl, to have girls who are friends who are responsible as well. And that is what we are looking for, girls who have dreams, who have goals, who are able to share what they want to achieve in life, and they can drip and this is the picture we have of our daughters. This is what every parent wants with her daughter, right? This is what we all dream of. And if this is destabilized, if the photo you can see on the screen is destabilized, if your daughter is not now the ambitious one, or she has issues at school, so she's getting suspension, or she doesn't love house chores, we get into a fright mode, or we freak out and we quickly want to come in. So the reason why sometimes you'll get annoyed, angry, disappointed is because this status has been destabilized. So your behavior, your action is normal because this is what we want to get from our daughters. But then sometimes our daughters are in this position of, Mom, I don't know what to do. Sometimes they cry. and crying is one of the ways we know how to respond to as parents. And crying is just one of the ways. The other ways is them staying on phone, being addicted to phone, staying in their rooms, not talking anymore, being easily irritable, being easily annoyed. These are some of the ways that they express, and this is the reality of life. I know we would want the previous slide, we'll want that image, but this is the reality of life. And even as you can see that image on your screen, I want you to remember one thing. And I'm a great advocate of this. And sometimes I become very harsh, but it's because I want you to have an understanding. What type of an understanding? Your daughter, whether 10 years old, whether 17, whether 7, whatever age is your daughter, they are full human beings. They are full human beings, not fully developed, not fully developed, but they are full in terms of they have all the senses that they need. They're experiencing life as a full human being. Why am I saying that? What does the life of a full human being look like? How does your life look like? It is not all perfect. Sometimes your friends betray you. Sometimes your spouse betrays you. Sometimes if you are in school, sometimes you don't get the grade that you want. As a parent, maybe you're doing your PhD or you're taking your master's. Sometimes you feel the academic pressure, you feel family pressure, you feel it. There are those days that you want to just come and you don't want to talk to anybody and you just want to sleep, right? That's life. That's generally life. Sometimes you can leave your house and someone tries to mess up your day and you get angry, but quickly you recollect your day and you move on without allowing anyone to mess your life, right? Sometimes you may get into a deal, an investment deal that goes sour and you lose a huge chunk of money, right? What does that do to you? It affects you emotionally. Sometimes you can be even frustrated or get into depression. It happens. But then what happens when you're in that space? When you get home, probably you don't feel like talking to anyone. Go take shower, have your tea, sleep, right? That is what happens. Sometimes when it's your friends who are messing up your space, you cut them off, right? Sometimes you even choose to go for therapy. Go and get some good money and you go for therapy, and you go for therapy for 6 months because you know what you want. Now that is what I'm saying, that our daughters are full human beings. They experience life the way you experience. It's only that sometimes as parents we try to trivialize what their experience is, but they go through frustration, depression, they have their own fears, general life, not even being a teenager. Because then what most of the time we do as parents, we are quick to say, they're just being teenagers, it's just the normal teenager mood swings, it's the normal. But for a minute I just want you to hold up on that. It's not about being a teenager, it's just being alive and in the world, even because you are not a teenager yourself, and you are going through life. So there are highs and there are lows. So she's going through life the same way you are going through life. And that is why they'll feel so frustrated. They say, Mommy doesn't love me. Mommy doesn't understand me. And Mommy doesn't understand me, or my parents don't understand me. It's such a common phrase that I've come to understand what exactly they mean. You understand? But then we are not prepared for that. We always look at our children as the little kids that we gave birth to 15 years ago. We are not prepared on transitions. And the only transition we know is from childhood, preteen, and teenager. And teenager is, we are always waiting for them to make a mistake so that we justify that age group. So if they make a mistake, it's just a teenager. If they don't do what they're supposed, you are just a teenager. And how many times have you told your daughter, you're just a teenager? Don't bring your moods to me, How many times have you made a decision because they are just teenagers? Okay. And so parents, we are not ready for the transitions. The girl that you gave birth to 10 years ago, she's now telling you, no, mommy, I don't want to put on that dress. The girl that you gave birth to 15 years ago, now she wants to go to church with you in your car, in your Mercedes, wearing some Crocs and a baggy t-shirt. You get a point. And and a hoodie that is written I don't care, and their hair that is unkempt, and some sweatpants, some baggy sweatpants. The girl that you gave birth to 15 years ago, that's how she wants to go to church. And you are a high profile person, right? And mama girls, you are a very high profile person. So you want your girl to match that. So when your daughter tells you, Mommy, I'm okay, I am okay, you really cannot understand. And sometimes when that happens, we get into panic mode, or we are in that position where no, I can't allow you, not in my house. You'll not do this thing in my house. Wait, but this is the reality. Why are we having this conversation as parents? And I have interacted with parents, and even as we are having this conversation, I've seen some messages already from parents in my WhatsApp inbox, and they're saying, I need help. Brenda, my daughter, and someone has actually explained a bit. I just can't through. I need help. This is a reality, parent. And my goal is for you. I want you by the end of this class, you get a different understanding on the challenges that our daughters go through. All right? Because it's only that I don't want to take much of time. But if I ask you what the challenges our daughters are going through, you'll tell me, oh, relationships, boyfriends, phone, academics, she's not working hard, she has attitude, she no longer respects me. Those are the things that you will tell me. And I know for sure there are things that are on the surface, and you're not alone, because this is what other parents have shared with me. My daughter has low self-esteem because of her body size. She is bigger than most of her age mates, and this is a parent telling me because she can see it. Brenda, I just discovered from my daughter's journal that she's a lesbian. What do I do? Shock of your life. You have been doing devotion every single day, having conversation, and I know of a girl who, I don't know if I put it here, but there's a girl who got into lesbianism 2 years ago, and the parents have no idea, and they have those conversations during the family devotion, and she contributes because she wants to tell the parent what they want to hear. Yeah, lesbianism is bad. It's not good. It's not godly. Yeah, the God is against that. But then she's actually a lesbian, and she was like, "But Brenda, I can't tell them because they will judge me. So we can't have a conversation. So I'll just not tell them." Okay, she's on phone late at night with her best friend, and it's getting me worried. Hearing your daughter on call during the holidays at 2 a.m. and she's laughing in your house. Brenda, I'm losing my baby. What do I do? Yeah, this is when you're not able to adjust or to grow with your child and to let her go. I really love my mom. My mom, up to now, she calls me from the village. When it's raining in the village, she'll call me to ask me if I am warmly dressed. During the mandamano, she would call me every now and then. Are you in the house? Have you left the house? Are you okay? Because parents will always be parents, regardless of the age, right? So, but then for this age group, the Gen Zs, they want to be given that space. And please don't misquote me. I'm not saying that give them the freedom that they want, but allow them to grow. No, when you don't allow them to grow, that is when you say things like this, I'm losing my baby. Because how was your baby? She was playful. She listened to everything. She wanted to go with you to Chama, to the mall. And now she's just 13, 14 years old. She doesn't want to accompany you anymore. She wants to buy her own clothes, give her money, then take her to the mall, stay in the parking. She will go to LC Waikiki alone to shop for herself. Use And you're like, no, this is not the girl. So you're not ready. Her teenage mood swings are taking over. She doesn't like bathing if she is not in her periods. Are these real issues? Give me a yes or a no. If you can relate with one or of these, please give me a yes. If not, if you can't relate, please give me a no. I'm here to learn how to handle 10-year-old daughters who feels I don't love her enough, and for that reason she doesn't share a lot with me. I want to help her be strong and courageous. You will. Can you relate with any of the things, parent, that I've mentioned here? Let me see. Yes, they are. Yes, thank you. Yes, these are, I'm not cooking this. These are comments, these are conversations, these are comments, this what parents tell me. And sometimes they are so much in distress when they are telling me these things. It's like they have now given up, they don't know. Now, this is when I'm having conversation with girls, this is what I get. Notice the difference. I'm a lesbian, I don't know how to get out of it. I can't tell my parents. Now, this is me having conversation with girls, all right? Remember what parents are telling me? See what girls are telling me. Brenda, mom thinks I'm rebellious, but tell me, all my friends are either lesbians or bisexual. What do I do? And those are the only friends I have. What's the problem? Is the problem really lesbianism? This is the problem. Friends. And at this level, parents, and I'll keep on mentioning this, at this level, when it gets to teenagers, they value, they prioritize their friends more than you. You better understand that. They will listen to what their friends are saying. They will believe their friends more than you. So, in as much as you're telling her you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're a good girl, then she goes, her friends are like, why are you this big? Damn. Why are you this masculine? And that's where they are. And so when I was telling you parents, please bring the parents of your daughter's friends, this is exactly what I was saying. I honestly don't know who I am. Like, she doesn't know her identity because we were having this conversation about lesbianism and bisexual, and I was asking her a question because I genuinely wanted to understand her. And she was like, honestly, Brenda, I don't know who I am. Dad is so strict. I wish he can be like my friends. Dad, do we have fathers here? In my classes, 90% of participants are mothers. My parents are pastors. It's like they live in heaven. They never understand me. Everything is about the Bible. And I know if you're this parent and this girl is saying this thing, you will still quote another. But remember, you are the only one who is born again, unless your daughter has confessed that, right? So if she hasn't confessed it, she will not understand what you're saying. All right. Am I saying we shouldn't teach them on the ways of God? Definitely, that's not the point. But when we tell them, God is your father, what does that mean? That language can be understood by people who have given their lives to Christ, who have experienced the love. What am I basically saying? Do your devotion, family devotion, teach her the ways of the Lord. But when it comes to practical things on friendship, please handle it at that particular level. Why are you telling her the story of Jonathan and David? The girl is struggling with her friends who are betraying. And then and I am a Christian. I am a worship leader in my church. So I'm not saying that don't stop teaching them the Bible. But parents, especially church leaders, deacon, pastors, ministers, whatever role you are playing, please remember that your child is living on earth and help her from that level of understanding the real issues that she's facing. A girl was telling me, Brenda, my maths teacher picks on me. And she was feeling, and she had all the evidence that the maths teacher was, picking on her. And she was like, I tried to have that conversation with my mom and dad, and they told me to persevere. And that's what the Bible says. But the teacher is picking up on me. So what did I do? I just kept quiet. And that is why my mathematics is really going down. And dad keeps on complaining. But they can't hear. And so, parents, are we listening really to what our kids are saying? Are we listening to what our daughters are saying? I live a very sad life. Mom can never allow me to be out with my friends unless she's there. So my friends no longer invite me to their parties, to their parties, because they say mom is a snitch. So your daughter has been excluded because of you, because of your insecurity. I will not say that's being careful as a parent or taking care, because why are you joining your daughter's birthday parties? Why are you there? Why are you sitting there? I mean, parent. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this is what God is saying. And I'm not advocating for them in terms of give them all the freedom. I am like, when your daughter is complaining, what is she really saying? Like this one, the last one, the girl who is saying, Mom is always with me. And my friends are calling her a snitch. So this girl first is embarrassed by the fact that she's your daughter. She doesn't have that pride of, this is my mom, because her friends are calling you a snitch. So what is your daughter saying? When she's saying dad is so strict, What is exactly is she saying? She's not saying that you are quiet. She's not saying that you don't talk. She's saying that she desires an intimate relationship. She desires to feel like a baby girl. She desires to be appreciated. She desires to tell you how her day was. She desires to make fun with you. She doesn't necessarily mean now talk. Okay? I am a lesbian and I don't know how to go about it. I can't tell my parent, why is your daughter? And all these parents, most of them, not all of them, most of them, they did not know this side of their children. So, and parents will say, my daughter is my best friend. My daughter trusts me. My daughter trusts me. But then when they come to my class, they see a totally different child. I'm like, yo, this is where we are. How do we deal with this? How do we handle this? And then the parent goes into panic mode because and sometimes I remember there's a parent who was really, Brenda, this is not true. This can, she brought her daughter in one of our programs, and she was like, Brenda, this is not true. This feels like a cooked story. And I'm so grateful because the program was on Zoom. And so the girl was typing. If I didn't have that evidence on what girl was actually saying in the class, this parent would have accused me of maybe whatever because she was so strict. I need evidence of what you are saying. So sometimes this parent will have no idea. So I want in the next few slides, I just want you to take your whatever, if you're using your laptop or your phone, because I'm not going to read them out loudly. I just want you to read for yourself what girls go through, what they are saying, the questions that they are asking, so that you know they are not afraid of performance. So that you know and what exactly is eating our daughters. Please, I want you to be very keen. If there's something that you're doing, you need to read this for yourself. Please take a minute, go through each question, and then let me know what you think about it. Now, these are questions that we gather during our programs, either physical one-on-one or mentorship group or individual. We compile them. If you can see, the page is 4 out of 12. So we compile them based on the issues, like we categorize them. Okay. Also note on the myths and misconceptions. Myths and misconceptions. And when you talk about sexuality, we're not looking it at one angle. Okay. Who told these girls about number 37? Where did this conversation come from? Number 36. What do you what what do we do? What do you do when someone asks you to have, with them? I know we always tell our daughters, don't don't do it. Please wait until marriage. But do you actually teach them or not to say? And sometimes it can be their peers, sometimes it can be adults. Have you taught them? What happens? Number 43. I was told that if I don't have, then I'm not human. So I tried. Is that true? Baby girl already tried because she was told that she was not human. This is why I was saying, please, parents, don't get this information alone. If you hear a program that is going around for your daughter, drag her friends. Because you can imagine this one, they didn't get it from adults. They got these things from, their peers. Okay? Number 40. Number 40, I remember this was a physical class. Number 40 was asked by, I think, 10 or 11-year-old girl. Number 40. All right, enough of that. On beauty and physical appearance. On beauty. I know um, girls are getting in puberty or getting through puberty when they are a bit younger right now, as young as 8 years old. I had a girl in one of a period party who received her period when she was 7 years old. I know that's a baby, right? But yes, she did. And I remember her mom sharing experience that she was, telling for 2 days, she was telling mom, I have stomach ache, and mom would buy her Actor, she would give her some hot water, and she kept doing that. And then that day she went to the washroom and she's like, Mommy, there is blood on my panty. What is that? And that is when it dawned on her mom. 7 years old, really, 7 years old. 7 years old is a baby, right? According to us, she's a baby, right? Yeah. So the mom felt, Brenda, I had planned to tell her about periods when she turns 8. So she has no clue. So when she came shouting, Mommy, there's blood on my panty, she didn't have an idea. So puberty starts when they are very young. Right now, if you have a 7-year-old girl and um she doesn't know about periods, then you are a bit late. Okay? These are the things that parents affect our daughters. And so, whereas you think that it's her performance, whereas you think that she's becoming moody, whereas you think that she doesn't want to go to school, she's actually struggling on, her physical appearance, how she looks. She's struggling on, muffin tops. You know what muffin tops are? And she wants to wear some tops that are cute and, tight, but she can't because she's afraid of how she looks. And the third of it all, and the last one, is this on LGBTQ. Please read. So this one, I think this was a combined class, both boys and girls. But I chose most of the questions for girls. I think you may see a question from a boy or a comment from a boy. Yeah, you see like number 3 is from a boy. I'm not sure if there's any other. Why don't churches accept us as lesbians? Why are you mean? You church people. That's what they ask. Why can't you accept us? And Jesus just loves us the way we are. I saw my dad beat my mom. I think men are just evil. I can't have a man as my romantic partner. That's a conclusion. Like men are bad. The other girl in June's class, yeah, during midterm class, she said men are dogs. I thought that word was used by us, our generation, millennials, and the other generations. But hearing a Gen Z saying men are dogs, I was like, wait a minute, where are you coming from? And she actually gave me a whole story. They'll give you story to justify what they are saying, but really, that's where they are coming from. Okay. Let me start sharing. Parents, what do you think? What do you think about those questions? What's your comment on that? I told you I'm not going to give you 5 reasons why you should love your daughter, how to help your daughter become more into what point number 1, point number 2. No, I told you these are questions to make you think. These are questions to cause you ask yourself, what happened to my daughter? Why is my daughter behaving like this? Why is my daughter having this perspective? For example, when it comes to a question on lesbianism. So if you're consistently telling her, lesbianism is bad, da, 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 but according to her, she saw the dad beat you as a mom, and she feels now, I can't do boys, I can't do men. So where is the problem? What should you handle? Is it the lesbianism part or it's the cause? Now, let me tell you with all honesty, parents, all girls that I've worked with, and I'm saying all to mean 100% of teenagers that I've worked with who are into lesbianism. First, no one has ever come to tell me that I was born like that. And I don't intimidate them. I don't force my values to them. My goal is to help, is to understand where they're coming from. There is no girl who has ever come to tell me that I was born like this. They always have a reason. My boyfriend left me. I just want to try it out. I see my friends, kissing. I just want to try it out. I found myself in it. Another girl told me, our schoolmates used to call her tomboy, because of how she used to walk and talk. So they used to call her tomboy. And now, so that she has an easy life, she decided to get into lesbianism. And she told me, Brenda, I'm not really a lesbian. I know I do all these things. I have, my girlfriends with me, but I'm not. Once I get out of this school, high school, I'm okay. Even my mom doesn't know about all this. But I'm just doing this so that I fit in. Okay. Let me read what your parents are saying. It's so heartbreaking. It's a revelation that we shy away from, but needs to be addressed actually. Very pertinent question require us parents to do introspection and act urgently. Shocking. We assume they are innocent until you read some of the questions. It's tough, but it's the reality that we need to know, work and walk with our dear girls. I realize friends play a big part in their lives. I bought her a secret book to write her personal issues, where I find out she wants a cute boyfriend. A parent said she would clap for her daughter if she says she wants a cute boyfriend. Then she says she wants a cute girl. Yeah, friends play a bigger role. And the reason why parents I'm sharing with you is so that you stop looking things on the surface. My daughter is a lesbian, or mtoto wa so and so is a lesbian, and now we are making it, it's a big deal, and we are now talking about it. We are taking them for counseling, we are taking them, yet it's something that you can actually talk about with that person. Where are they coming from? And there was someone I was listening, someone shared with me a link of, I can't remember the name, one of the pastors here in Kenya, and he was sharing that when you all this biology and science about LGBTQ and where it came from and the impact, and it was really sensitizing parents too. It's kind of, no, we have to fight it out. And I agree totally that we have to fight it out, because I don't want to get into that. We know there are some narratives that are being pushed. What information is given to your daughter? And I always tell parents, if you have never taught your daughter, she doesn't know. I went to a certain church just here within Nairobi, and the topic we were handling as a team was on sexual purity. Normally, because of my experience, I know how a normal class behaves. A virtual class, I know how they will quickly respond. A physical class, I know how they will, they will be at ease and trust us, and how the class will move on. But then, as we're introducing the class of sexuality, and getting into no sexual purity, these girls were just looking at us with this disbelief, with this face of like, you guys, you don't know what you're saying. And they were all quiet, no questions, no laughter, nothing. And we realized that it was actually a red flag. And so we tried to ask what is happening. So we allowed them to go for a tea break. And when they came back, we're like, okay, let's stop talking about whatever the topic. Tell us story. What is happening? And one girl, the first girl who raised her hand, so she said, teacher, when you are talking to us, we were wondering what you're telling us, because there's another group that came to teach us last holiday, and they actually told us that sex is actually good as long as you don't become pregnant and you don't get diseases like HIV, like gonorrhea, like syphilis, like da 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 da. So it is okay. But you guys are telling us that we shouldn't do it. Why? And we know even where we can get P2. They showed us how an original P2 looks like and how much we should buy. There's an organization in a church. Okay? They allowed people to come and teach them, but they were not there. And this information, the girls were taught. This is between age 11 to 14. These were the girls that you were teaching about sexual purity. So they've been taught about, but it's okay to have sex as long as you don't become pregnant. So you can use P2. You can use female condoms. They were shown how female condoms look like. They and then just to protect yourself, and where you can buy the P2 and how much. This is your girl who you have released comfortably to go for a program. They are in schools. We don't know what they are taught. And when we got to speak to the director had no clue of what the things these kids were taught. Who is teaching your daughter? Now, when we talk about sex, for example, we have all told our daughters, don't, it is wrong, run or shout. But do we actually teach them how the process happens? How do they start developing feelings? Have you taught her about the feelings of attraction to an opposite sex? Does she know how she will feel when she's attracted? Or you'll be like, no, some changes will come, but you're not able to articulate the feelings because she needs, if she has to make the right decision, she needs to point out on that feeling. How does it feel when you are attracted to the opposite sex? And we're not saying they shouldn't because it's a normal biological process or thing that happens. So we are saying it's okay for you to feel attracted to a boy. How does that feeling look like? Because if you don't teach her about those feelings, she'll be attracted, and that's why she'll just, it's the feel good hormone. It will trigger the feel good hormone. And so she wants to go for that feel good. Nobody wants to see in a place they're feeling sad. Even you, the friends that you're having, is because they make you feel good. You get the point? So then we don't teach them. They have phones, but we don't teach them about sex texting. They don't even know. When a boy tells them, send me your photo while you are in your night dress, the girl thinks that this is cute and she sends it. And they continue with that conversation until the next time they are meeting. They are not even talking about sex or about kissing. They just kiss and have sex. And what happens? The girl was like, oh, wait a minute. Mommy told me not to do it. But remember, you told her not to do the final act. Did you tell her how to take care of herself in between? At what point does she need to leave the conversation? At what point does she need to block this boy? At what point does she need, because at this point, girls are also, they are looking for autonomy. They want to be independent. They want to make their own decision. And that is why Damaris, she'll come and tell you, Mommy, no, I don't want to do that. It's not that she's rebelling. And I always tell parents, that's something that you should celebrate. If your daughter has you're having conflicting ideas with your daughter, that is growth. That is progress. And the fact that she's telling you, Mommy, I don't want to do this, Mommy, or you're having that kind of a difficult conversation, it means she's growing. She's getting her independence. She's getting her, her confidence to speak. Because parents, nobody wants to bring up a girl who is like, yes, mom, yes, dad, yes, brother, yes, whoever. If you bring up that kind of a girl, and if that's the girl that you want to bring up, this is the girl who will say yes to my husband when she's being beaten. This is the girl who will say yes to the teacher when she's being sexually abused. This is the girl who will say yes to toxic friendship. This is the girl who will grow and start lending out money and, and leaving nothing to herself. So if your daughter is like, yes, yes, and initially she was like, Mommy, I don't want to do this. Know that you have dimmed that girl down. So it is okay, 100% okay when you're having conflicting conversation or having conflicting ideas with your daughter because she's getting her independence. And that's now the high chance for you to train her on how to make decisions, on how to interact with friends, how to express yourself, because you'll be like, okay, I know that Abigail, that is what you want, but I don't have money right now. I know that's what you want, but that we didn't agree on this. But what happens sometimes, parents, our families, we set rules when we are in crisis. There's a parent, I was coaching her daughter, and she told me, and actually it's the girl who told me, and she was telling me how parents really don't disagree when she wants to go out. Like it's a yes, she'll be she'll be dropped, she'll be picked, or the driver will be sent, because as a family they agreed, if you really want to go somewhere, if you have a plan, she's 17, if you have a plan, tell me 2 weeks in advance. So this girl knows if she gets a plan in school today for a certain event, the parents will not approve. So she doesn't even try telling them. And now because they have established, that's the time now the parents are able to help her think. Is it you want to go to the mall for ice cream? Okay. Why do you want to go to Sarit? Why don't you want to go to, another mall? Why don't you want to go to the mall in Karen? Can I drop? And then now she's taught on how to make decision. How do you prioritize? But if you don't have those kind of conversation with your daughter, And then when she tells you that I want to go tomorrow to the mall, it will be very difficult for you to say no. And if you say no, she will start crying, she'll act up because why are you denying me happiness? Or okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Back to our just a minute. I hope parents you're learning. I hope you're getting value. I hope you are getting value from this conversation. Please plan to have your daughter attend one of our webinars. We have a program coming up um, in August on sexuality. Please ensure she turns up. Uh, Good. So these are the questions on LGBTQ, on lesbianism, on bisexual. I know you know it's becoming so rampant, and I'm just my heart is very sad because I know how many girls are getting into it and parents are not aware because sometimes they have learned to, they have studied you and they know the things that you can't stomach, and so they will not come and tell you. Some parents just find this in the most weird, the most weird situation. Now, when we talk about this lesbianism, also remember there is this other girl who told me, Brenda, I'm just doing this to fit in. It's disgusting, but this is the only thing I can do to fit in. There is another girl who told me, Brenda, I don't know my identity. Why? Because you have not told her. And I always tell parents, this is the time to tell your daughter. And I know there are parents of preteens who are here. Tell your daughter why she's your daughter. She's a girl. Tell your daughter what are these things that make her a girl. Because then if you're not doing that, and there's a conversation that one girl was telling me on these guys who are speaking about LGBTQ, and they were loud in their school and they were asking them, so who told you that you are a girl? Oh, we have breasts, oh, we da 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 da. Who told you that those people who have those are girls? And because our daughters are not equipped, they're not told not to listen, they're not told anything. They are told they are girls and they are females, that's it. They are like, okay, by the way, who told me that? Why can't we challenge it? Because we need to get from the shallow. The shallow end is lesbianism is wrong, bisexual LGBTQ is wrong, it's disgusting, it will make you sick. Two, the how girls make the decision to do that. What makes them think that way? Now we are dealing with the mind, and that is why I said I help girls, or rather, we help girls build their agency, ability to think, ability to reason, ability to make decision, ability to question. So if your daughter questions the things that you're doing, parents, please that know it's a good thing. If your daughter, and I'll have a class for you parents next week, I'll share the dates on sexual grooming, not how you know sexual grooming in terms of, but how the girls interpret conversations on sexual grooming and how they make the decision. So we are getting into what happened to my daughter. What are these things that I'm not seeing? Yes, I can see she's rebellious. Okay, yes, I can see she is lazy. Yes, I can see da 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 da. But what am I not seeing? Let us deal now with those things that we are not seeing. Okay, let's deal with those things that we are not seeing as we work on to the things that we are seeing. And what are the gaps? Number one, ignorance. Parent, if you have never taught your daughter, she doesn't know. Period. If you have never taught your daughter how to say no, she doesn't know. If you have never taught your daughter how to instill boundaries, she doesn't know. If you have never taught your daughter on sex texting and what that is and how she can stop, she doesn't know. They do not know. Who told them? Why do we assume that schools teach them? Why do we assume? It's true, by the way. They are taught in class about menstruation. But tell me, why I got a random message from a 14-year-old girl who was, she was given my contact. I also have period parties for preteens. And so whenever I'm having a session, I always ensure these girls have my number. And so I shared my number with them. So this girl, the 14-year-old girl, got my number from her classmate. So she started having her periods. Her parents had gone to work and she was just at home. She doesn't know how to use a sanitary towel. 14-year-old girl. Okay. And so this girl, she gave, the number, blah, blah, blah. And then she calls me. And so I'm there video calling a random Kenyan girl, teaching her how to use sanitary towels. Parents have no idea. And the following day I was like, did you tell mommy? No, I didn't. And I had to, to like talk to her to tell her parent. If you've never taught your daughter, and when it comes to periods, that's the basic on using sanitary towels. That's the very basic. Does she know the varieties that are there? Why do you always think that as a mom, the menstrual health product that you use is the one that will fit your daughter? I suffered. My mom introduced me to always for a very long time. In high school, I was using, oh, it was so boring, it was so cumbersome, it was so uncomfortable. Until after high school, I decided, let me try another product. And I tried. And I'm like, why didn't I start this? And did my mom have ill motives? Definitely no. It worked for her, so she thought it will work for me. So expose your daughter to various products. Let her try, Cortex. Let her try, oh, let her try Sunny. Let her try all the product until, and then teach her how does comfort look like, so that she knows I'm looking for this specific feeling. If it's not that, I don't want. Teach her about friendship. How does toxic friend look like? But sometimes parents are like, no, that friend is bad. That friend is toxic. Yet you didn't teach her. And when she gets into friendship, getting out is a bit difficult. Ignorance. So if you have never taught your daughter, don't raise your voice on her. It is very unfair for you to correct what you have not taught. It is very, very unfair, parents. And don't assume they were taught in church or school. If you have never taught her how to respond when she's angry, don't raise your voice when she's rude to you. Until you teach her, then you can punish. If you have not taught them, don't punish. Ignorance. Not because of anything, but just because they are growing, they are kids. Two, myths and misconceptions. And I have shared that they have myths and misconceptions about lesbianism, about their sexuality, about beautiful girls. Beautiful girls are brown and hippie. Beautiful girls have this kind of a voice. Your parents love you if they have bought you a phone. And that is why sometimes you'll hear girls say, my mom doesn't love me. My mom loves my brother than me. Da 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 da. They don't care about me. Actually, they have a reason why they're saying that. They're just not saying. So you're telling them, no, mommy, I love you. That doesn't make sense, because we said it is not what we are seeing. It's what they are experiencing from within. It's the reason why they're saying that. So they have myths and misconception. How should they look like in terms of their physical appearance? Who told our children that a beautiful girl is lean? And then our girls are, suffering and crying because of growth spurt. Have you taught them on the changes that happens in our body? So they have myths and misconceptions. You are not the only influence in your life, and don't ever be proud about it, saying, no, I'm the role model of my daughter. You are not the only influence. There is media. There are billboards that are outside. They are friends. They have friends who are influencing. They are teachers. They are seeing how teachers are dressing. They even seeing, how girls are commenting on a particular teacher who dresses in a particular way. And so their thoughts are being formed. So the next time you're wondering, she's telling you, I want cargo pants, and she wants black, blue, and, another one that is mustard yellow or something. Why? Because that's the trend, and there is an image she has in her mind about physical appearance, about girls, about sex, about having a boyfriend. You saw a girl who was saying that she was told, if you don't have sex, you are not normal. And the girl went ahead and did it. You are not the only influence. Who are the friends around your daughter? Who are they? Why don't you organize something for them and call someone to speak to them as a team? It becomes so easy when they are growing as a team. That's number three. Changing needs. And this is something I always fight with parents most of the time, because we are stuck on this mindset that our parents brought us this way. My dad, we could not have conversation, and some of us are so adamant. But parents, really remember that was 1986. We are in 2025. Presidents have changed. Even the note, our Kenyan currency note, has changed. Politicians have changed, economy has changed, some buildings have been built. So we can't stay in the 1980s. We can't stay in that era. And it's high time. And some parents have said, military. I was brought up in a military kind of environment, and that is what I'm doing in my house, and it's working. Is it really working? I do not know. But if it's working, it is okay. But they are changing needs. We no longer go to the rivers. Does your daughter go to the river? No, she doesn't. We no longer go to fetch, firewood. Some of us, even our mothers, the one our children would call grandmothers, they are in cities. They are busy in their corporate employment. Initially, we were in the village and we travel to the village. Things have changed with time. What about education has changed? Exposure to sexual education has changed. And I quote one person who said in one of the programs I was doing, start talking to a child about sex at the age of 3. Did I say 3? Yes, 3 years old. Start talking about sex education at that age. If you want, someone else will do it. The moment a child is able to feel, I am not a boy, or I'm not I'm not like that one, I can't put on a dress, that's the time you need to start talking about sexual education. So this is where our daughters are. There is level of ignorance combined with myths and misconception, a lot of information that is getting in them, changing needs, and we expect them to be nice, good girls. That is why sometimes they'll stay in bed sleeping the whole day. There's a lot of pressure. And remember, I told you they are full human beings, right? So the way you can stay in bed because you're so frustrated, because you're feeling depressed, because you're feeling bad and all those things, because you're not able to. It is the same thing. So these things are happening in them, yet they're expected to perform. They're expected to be good girls. They're expected to say yes to everything that mom is saying. And what's your position as a parent when it comes to these changes? Assumption that they know all the things, and I can ask you comfortably, parents, all the things that the previous slides that had questions. Can your daughter answer those questions? Can she comfortably answer and say yes, no, I don't like it? Or she will add to that list. So we assume that they actually know. And that is why I shared those questions so that you understand this is where they come from. But also some parents are finding it very difficult in having the conversation. And I remember there's a parent who was very hard and she told me, Brenda, I can't teach my daughter about, I can't teach her sex education because she's very innocent, she's very naive. If I teach her, she will go to explore. I'm like, oh, okay. So you better not do it than teach her because you're afraid she'll explore. So she was afraid if we talk about sex, what it is. And I think parents, are we still in the era of telling our children that sex ni tabia mbaya? Are we still in the era of telling our parents sex is when a man and a woman sleep together? Ebu tell me, is it a yes or a no? Are we still in that era? Sex ni tabia mbaya. Sex is when a man and a woman sleep together. Which other definitions are given? Are we still in that? Please let me know in the comment section. Is that what we are still telling our children? Oh, someone is saying, Brenda, not all parents are good communicators. At what age do we start having this conversation with the girl chat? I mentioned that. Does it mean that we are not supposed to deny them places? Definitely no. I hope that didn't come out that way. That's not what I was saying, Damaris. The point when I was talking about them going to places, I was saying that in your family, because also their family values, their principles, their guidelines, which are unique in every family. And so my point is, if you can give your daughter provision to go out to the mall, let her, have the guidelines. How should that be communicated? Is it a day before? Is it 2 days before? Is it 2 weeks? Or is it a month? By that, you are now helping your daughter know how to plan herself. And also because she'll borrow you some money, you will also plan yourself financially. You will also plan on how she'll go to that place if she has to. If as a family it's not going out, then be it. It is okay. Right? So what I meant with that point on them going to places is that you're teaching them. So let your daughter know that you can never have a phone until you get to 15. Let them know that from the word go. As opposed to leaving it open. When she's 13, she needs a phone, yet you did not communicate. Just the way you don't like being ambushed. Let's go for a wedding. Give me some 50 G's urgently. Just the way you don't like being ambushed. Also, you don't like being ambushed by your daughter. So then teach her how to plan herself. That clearly was the point. Um, okay. No, I asked a question, parents. I asked you, are we still teaching our children that sex ni tabia mbaya? It's a yes or no. Is that what you're teaching? Are we still telling them that it's staying when men are still together? Rose says no. I hope so. No. Thank you, Lydia. Yeah, I know. I expect that you are past that and actually telling them what everything is. What are the parts of the body that are involved in this? Because then you saw a girl, I don't know if it was in that, but there was a girl who asked, is it true that you cannot have sex while seated, while on a couch? Clearly, what does that tell you? That they don't know what really it entails. So you're actually telling them it's this and this, it's that, this part of the body and this. It's when, using the real words that your daughter understands, but not coded coded conversation. I saw a comment here. Authorities must attend and approve any programs intended for children, be it in school, church, or wherever. Thank you, Daniel. That's the ideal way of doing it. Someone is saying it seems there is always a root cause to certain behavior. Now, this is Agatha Fred. Not some, all of them. Any behavior you are seeing in your daughter, name it, there is a reason. Um, there is a book I always keep on reading. I've read it, I think, 3 times now. It's called What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Dr. Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. That's a book I would recommend to every parent because then you'll get to understand why our children behave the way they behave. Why do they do things the way they do? What triggers them? Because your girl cannot just wake up and randomly start acting up. Okay. So now, and someone said not all parents are good communicators. Now, what do you do? Now, parent, I understand. I totally understand. You might be busy. There is a parent, and I cannot really judge. There's a parent last year who said, Brenda, this is my work schedule. It's crazy. I'm a single parent. I travel a lot during the holiday. Please, I want you to walk with my daughter. And I walked with her, like the entire year. Why? Because the mom felt she's inadequate. She doesn't have the time, to connect. And parents, those are the realities. And I really defend parents who are busy at work, coming late at home, maybe 9 p.m. Please, you cannot judge such a parent. There is a reason why they are doing that. All right. And so I say, parent, if there is a need, if there is a gap you're seeing, shout for help. And I always tell parents, never ever be ashamed of shouting for help. Brenda, I am not able to have this conversation about periods. Take my daughter. Those are the parents, some of them bring their daughters to my class. Like, Brenda, I don't know. I was not taught. So it's very difficult. My daughter fears me. We have a strained relationship. Yet I want her to get this information. Please teach her. There is nothing wrong with asking for help, parents. Don't allow the media and some families that look like they are ideal to show you now you have to be there. Parent, really, what if, for crying out loud, what if you really want to be, but you can't because of work, because of your mental health, yourself, you're not mentally okay, because what one parent has said, communication skills. So do I now tell you now work on your communication skill? Yet this girl is really growing and growing at a very fast pace. Okay. Some of you already have strained relationship with your daughter. Like umechoka. You're just feeling tired. You just want her to finish school and go. Parent, I hear you. I see you. I cannot judge you. Because I've also been a class, and when I tell you these girls have shown me wonders, I have been in a coaching session, and for the whole session, the girl was just lying until I discovered one lie, and then she was like, "Even this one, I lied. Even this one, I lied. Why?" And I came to realize that according to her, lies is celebrated. When she goes out, she comes and tells mommy that I went out, she'll be punished. But if she doesn't, she will not be punished. So for her, lying is a coping mechanism. If she says the truth, she's punished. You understand what I'm saying? So I know these girls can lie, they can piece you, they can get you to the core, you can be irritated in as much as you want to be a good parent. Like you can get to a point where you feel like I am tired and I do not know what to do. Let me tell you, parent, there is nothing wrong saying, you know what, Brenda, help her with ABCD. Because most of the time, what happens, it is a perception. Girls who say, mommy hates me, mommy doesn't like me, mommy does not understand me, daddy does not spend time with me, daddy. It is their perception, it's their interpretation of your actions. Like a parent, I know a girl who told me that she knows her mom hates her because the mom was, every time she was going out with a younger brother. This was a 12-year-old girl. The younger brother is 4 years old. So the younger brother is this active kind of a boy. And so if the mother left the boy at home with the house help is not able to do anything else. So the mother would prefer going with the boy. So for the girl, she desired also to go with the mom, but every time she want to go with the mom, she like, no, mommy, let me just go with, your brother. Please stay home. I'll bring you some chocolate. Da, 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 da. According to the mother, she understands why she's doing the way what she's doing, and but this girl is feeling, mom hates me, mom doesn't want to spend time with me, mom prioritizes going with my brother, and she was crying. Literally. Why? Because it's her interpretation. According to her, if you don't go with me, you don't love me. If you don't go with me, you don't like me. If you don't go with me, you prioritize the other person. You understand what I'm saying? So most of the time, it's not even about your parents. It's about their interpretation. And that's why in our programs, we deal with the mind of the girl. She will come and say, you come and tell me, Brenda, my daughter is going through A, B, C, D, da, 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 da. Then I'll call the girl. I just want to understand her life. I want to understand her story. What is happening in her space? And most of the time, I get to understand what is happening. We deal with that, and then she's able to address without even me helping. She's able to see things differently, and differently, and in a different perspective. There is a girl who I was with, I think last year December. She's in Germany. Strained relationship with the parents, strained totally. And what happened after the program that you're having, the one-on-one session? She went and bought some flowers for the mom. She bought a nice shirt for the dad. And she didn't say anything. She just went and placed them in the bedroom and said, I love you. And that was the beginning of a restored family and, relationship between the daughter and the parent. Why am I saying that? It all starts in the mind. What is happening in our thoughts, all right? Parent, I hope you're getting my point. I hope you're getting value out of this. I told my kids sex is for adults who are married and are ready to take a responsibility of raising a child. But then she will hear a friend saying that so and so was having sex. That is called adolescent dilemma. Sorry, but allow me to use it. So when you tell us sex is for adults, who is an adult? At what age is an adult? But why are we seeing kids in social media having sex? Why is my friend told me that they had sex with their boyfriend and they are not? Adolescent dilemma. Daddy told me this, but this is the reality. Confusion. Okay. Some mothers, however, hate their daughters because they see them as competition. I may not comment much about that because I don't know where that is coming from. Okay. So I want to show you some conversation, some points or some conversation breakers. How you can start that kind of a conversation or different conversation. You may not take the exact words, but in every kind of conversation, especially when it comes to LGBTQ, to sexuality, to identity, this is how you can start some of this conversation. And parents, I want you to remember that your daughter is a human being. when you are sharing, um, when you are having a conversation with someone, how do you know that they are listening? How do you know that they are curious to know about your story or what you're going through? Do you like someone who keeps on filling up? You start a conversation and then they are filling up. You pause a bit and then they're picking it up. Don't you like someone who is really curious and asking you questions that pertain your life? How is your business? And when they ask you how is your business, they don't have solution. They just want to know. How is your business? How was it affected by Mandamano? Or how was it affected by COVID? And they are actually listening, and you can see they are listening. That's a conversation you'd want to strike with everybody. But unfortunately, sometimes as parents, we confuse our kids. We are having a conversation which turns out as a lesson, which turns out as a msomo, which turns out to be a class that you're now teaching. Yet it was a conversation. And one of the things that you can do, desire to know the life of your child. Look at your child, quote unquote, as a small bestie or as someone you want to build a relationship with. If you want to build a relationship with someone, you spend time with them, you'll want to ask them questions, you'll observe their actions and their behaviors. Desire really to know your daughter. I know you have prayed for them. I know you have devotion, family values, but very little time does she spend with you. Most of the time she spends outside in school, right? So most of the time she gets her beliefs, solidified in school. So then what does that mean? Desire to know her. Ask her questions, not so that you correct her, so that you understand. For example, what have you heard about sex education? This can happen if you have never had a conversation with your daughter. What do you know about sex? Oh, okay. And even if they tell you erroneous thing, you consistently ask questions until you understand what's the genesis of that. You can have sex and as long as you don't become pregnant. Oh, really? What if you become pregnant? So what will you do for you not to get pregnant? But the moment your daughter says that you can have sex as long as you don't get pregnant, it turns out to be amsomo. You will call your sister, your elder sister, so that they talk to her. You will remember there's a scripture. You remember there's a book at textbook center that she needs to read. And what happens? She shuts down. Am I not saying correct her? No, I'm saying correct the right thing. If you tell her don't have sex before marriage and she already told you that, yeah, you can have sex before marriage, don't have sex, okay. Kept quiet, you have not understood where she's coming from, you have not understood her background, that will help you now shape her thinking process. Because conversation is not about, oh, so what do you think? Oh, okay, no, that's wrong, that is bad. It's like desire to understand. And really, she's not going to have it tomorrow. So you can actually pick it tomorrow. You don't have to conclude a conversation now. But again, I totally understand because we are parents, we are in panic mode. We are afraid. Suppose she does it tomorrow. So, what have you had? What are your values and beliefs about sex? This is where now you will gauge what does she understand from all the things that you have been sharing during family devotion or during the conversation, or the girls' day out that you go with her. What are those things that she believes? And she may not even talk about sex only. She can even talk about other things. She can talk about friendship. She can talk about money. She can talk about beauty. She can even tell you about how she feels about her body. Because one conversation, one question can make this girl open up. And that is what we have seen in our class, is smart girl. You ask the girl one question and she gives you answers that you didn't even expect. Why? Because they long for a time they can express themselves. So ask questions that will help you understand how solidified are their beliefs, how solidified are their values. If she is 17, she'll be joining uni in maybe next year, right? Well, what her belief about boys visiting her in apartment or in the hostel? What does she think? This is the best time to have that conversation, not when she's already doing it because you visited her and you found some a shoelace of a boy's shoe. That's when you want to address it. Have that conversation now. Because if she has any questions, she'll ask you now. And you have nothing to fear. Okay? How do you feel about your body? especially if you realize there are major changes. And we know, like right now, our daughters are in school. If they're in boarding school, they have gone to school and they'll come. Some of them will have growth spurt. They can't even explain and they're so shy about it. All right? Ask them, how do you feel about your body? And listen to what she is saying. If she comes and tells you, mommy, girls think that I'm so big, the problem we do is we immediately start affirming them. You are beautiful. Even your grandmother was so cute. You remember? Even now you can even put on these kind of mommy jeans and they look and they are cropped and you look nice. You have, kind of shut her down. Ask her how she's feeling. Okay, now that your friend are saying that you're big, how does that make you feel? Why are you feeling that way? How would you want? Teach her about now the body changes that happens. That's why not everybody is tall. They are short and tall people. Tell her some things we cannot control. And also, parent, if she has acne, we are in 2025, and you can afford some moisturizer, you can afford some cleanser. It is not a sin to help your baby girl. It is not. And I know, no, it's, she's just a teenager. She'll get, if you can afford a cleanser that costs 1,000 bob, why not? That will help her regulate because we know it's hormonal, right? And for sure, we know it will end. Why not? Why are we stuck to the way like, no, these are how you are. These are the pimples. You stay with those ones. Stay with those ones until you get to 17. They will get over. Yet you know for sure you can afford something. So ask them, how do you feel about your body? Be keen on how they are dressing. It's okay to now take her to a mall to shop for her own clothes, the ones she feels most comfortable with. Don't force issues. If she used to wear baggy clothes and now she wants to wear fitting clothes, please allow her to do it. There is nothing wrong. Sometimes we deny our daughters basic things, not basic, fun things, because we are stuck. Some of us intentionally cause our daughters to go through pain so that they learn. Because we were taught if you don't go through pain, you will never learn. That's why I say no, never. You understand? Because life without you adding any pressure and stress, it is already difficult, it is already hard, and not hard in the negative sense. Like life will not always be the way you want it to be. So why would you want to add pressure? She is being bullied at school. So why do you want now to deny her some pizza at home? Because you want her to eat managu and from Monday to Friday. And parents, when I'm saying this, I'm not trying to correct how you're parenting. Please pick what is applicable to you. And what is not applicable, just drop it, okay? Because I understand there are various dynamics. I also understand parents punish their daughters in different ways, including withholding some privileges, which is okay. So, in as much as I'm saying all these things, you retain your position as a parent to guide, to lead, to correct, to punish if need be. All right? We are not even talking about that and we are not bargaining about that, but I'm just trying to make it easier for you to understand what goes in the mind of your daughter and how you can have easier conversation. All right, what are some of the things you can do if you feel pressured to engage in sexual activities? And this is what I was saying. Girls and boys don't meet on the road and have sex. No, they will start by looking at each other and by allowing the emotions to jump bait and entertaining it. So take the girl. What happens? And that is what we will be doing in our August conversation with them. And the good thing, we also have Coach Tony, who will be teaching them now from a man's perspective. What do boys look for? Why do boys behave the way they behave? So that also girls will understand. Does when we are chatting at 2 a.m. really, does he really love me? When he pulls me aside and he wants us to go for a walk in a deeper, forest, is that really safe? And what really happens? Okay. Ask your daughter if you've never had this conversation about with your daughter about LGBTQ, or if you had it last year. Ask it again. What does she think about LGBTQ? And listen without judging, listening to understand, and listening so that you can help them. Are we together, parents? Yeah, so if you start this conversation with your daughter, it's going to help you. It's going to make it easier for you. She will know because she'll not be seen as a girl. Because there's something we call adolescent dilemma. They are not children, they are not like toddlers, but they're also not adults. That's the teenage stage. So sometimes they'll want to say, Mommy, I know, Mommy, trust me. Mommy, I know what I'm doing. Mommy, I know bad friends. You can't trust me. Mommy, I can't, there's some things I can't do. The next thing she's like, but mommy, help me. Mommy, I don't know. Mommy, you didn't tell me. So one minute they be behaving like adult and they want you to trust them. The next minute they're like, mommy, please help me. I don't know. Please, mommy, do this. It's called adolescent dilemma. And now it's for you as a parent to know when to reprimand, when to help, when to stop, when to support, right? Because they are different. Um, and before we get to the next session, parent, is there anyone with a question? Please put it on the chat box. I'll be able to see both on YouTube. Someone is asking, kindly write the title of the book. Isaac, it's called What Happened to You. If I write, let me just write it here. What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. That's I've written it on YouTube. If you have any question, parent, please put it on the chat box. You can also inbox me directly here, not on WhatsApp because I may not be able to see it. And I want to ask you, do you sometimes look at your daughter and feel like you no longer fully understand what's going on in her world? Do you look at, and this is a question by the way, you answer it. Is it a yes or no? Do you sometimes look at your daughter, especially your teenage daughter, and you feel like you no longer fully understand what's going on? It's like you're a bit confused. Like she's no longer the baby, and you are not so sure. Do you ever get to that point, parent, or am I dreaming? Do you get to that point where you feel like I no longer understand her? I don't know. I'm not so sure what's happening. What's happening in her space? I can see Joy, yes, Olive, yes, Lydia, yes, Ryle, yes, Helen, yes. I think most of the parents would get into that point. I no longer am I overstepping a lot? Am I becoming overly sensitive, or is she getting out of the way? Okay. At least I've seen for parents who have said yes. Do you believe that many girls are silently struggling with things they feel too ashamed to tell their parent? Like your daughter is, you're not so sure, but you know for sure she's struggling with something and she can't tell you. You keep asking, what's wrong? I am okay, mom. And you can clearly see that she's not okay, but you do not know how to help. Okay. Would you feel more confident as a parent if you knew she had tools to handle pressure, confusion, and identity questions wisely? Because the truth is, parent, this is the truth, this is a fact. We can guide our daughters, but I've also seen girls who are so adamant in making the wrong decisions. Of course, for some other reasons, and they want to make those wrong decisions. And sometimes I tell parents, you might have done everything as a parent, but then your daughter chooses to do the wrong thing. Would you be so confident knowing that now your daughter understands sexuality, your daughter understands everything about beauty, your daughter can now, she knows how to create boundaries and she has been taught how, to create boundaries, how to communicate effectively. She knows, what it means to be in LGBTQ or to be a lesbian or bisexual, what exactly it means, where does that come from? Would that make you feel more confident, parent? Would it make you feel, more ready or more confident as a parent, even when you're working, even when she's in school, you're not worried. Oh, my daughter, who are her friends? Who is she working with the information? Okay. And if you could give her one safe space where she feels seen, heard, and guided, would you do that? Where you know your daughter has communicated. And that is what excites me when I see parents, say, thank you, Brenda, because she has been able to open about things that I had no idea about. And so we can support her. And parents sometimes would be so shocked. So if you could give her one safe space where she feels, and I'm like, this is the space. Bring your daughter to this space because she'll be seen, she'll be heard, and she'll speak. Would you do that? And if your answer is yes on this, that is why I told you about a program you're having in August, Fearless Girl Virtual Class. I run so many programs on fearless girls because I want our girls to be confident. I help them build their agency. And you know what agency is the ability to of girl to speak for herself, to communicate effectively, to say no when she doesn't want, to advocate for herself, to make decisions intentionally, knowing that I am getting into this. Because also girls will do something they were not intentional about. Have you ever been in a place where your daughter is you ask your question, why did you do this? And she goes quiet. Do you know biologically she doesn't have an answer? Like she can't understand also why did I do this? Like she doesn't know at all. So when she's quiet, she's not being rude. She actually doesn't understand why she did it. Or sometimes she makes a decision and thinks that it's a good decision, only for you as a parent to be shocked and to be annoyed. And she's like, why is mom annoyed? Why is mom angry? Because the way they are wired, their brain is not fully developed until they get to 25 years old, right? So they'll make decisions not because they want to make bad decisions, but just because they are growing. So real talk on sexuality and identity is a safe space for girls to understand identity, sexuality, and choices. And we will do it for 4 days. It will be virtual via Zoom, in August, okay? And your baby cannot miss this class for whatever reason. Ask parents who have attended my past programs how valuable the programs is. So they'll get exclusive and personalized conversations and deep meaning, kind of an environment that she will feel heard and seen. High impact curriculum that covers the most pressing issues adolescent girls, face today. Our curriculum, our programs are based on the real needs. You see, the questions that I've shared with other questions, we will put them together and develop a program for that or develop topics based on that. So it is not theory, it's very, very practical, but also expert led. I told you about Coach Barbara, who is Uganda, Germany. There is Coach Tony, who is based here in Kenya, and myself. All of us having international and having been in global platforms where we have been talking to teenagers and teaching and training teenagers and talking about teenagers, all right? And so we are also not only bringing our African experience, but also global. What is happening in other nations, in other continents? What are the issues that these people are facing so that our girls will not be shocked, when they travel abroad and they find things that are changing? So we are giving them a global platform, I mean a global experience in terms of the trainings, the coaching materials that you are going to use. They are all meant to shape them and prepare them for the future. 4 sessions, 17th to 20th of August, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. every single day, for the 4 days. And first session, which I will handle, who am I? Understanding their sexuality, gender, identity, but also their anatomy. We teach them why are you saying that you're a girl? This is the reason. Preparing them to understand that gender is, we say gender is it's something that the society agrees on, all right? But who are you? So before they are told, you are a boy, because you look like a boy, you're masculine, we'll tell them who is really a girl. Body autonomy. We'll talk about LGBTQ, what it is, where did it come from, how is it affecting us in as girls, how can we, because again, there are those girls who are so good, they want to change their friends. Their friends are lesbian, but they would all want, them to be lesbian. We teach them how to live with them because these people are in school. We teach them how to live with them in the class, in the dormitories, without them getting into their spaces or without them giving in. This is the reality. Do we teach them how to live with them? How to respect their space as they respect our space? No, we don't. We just keep on telling them it's bad, it is wrong, it is not godly, it is not the right thing. So we teach them this how they are, these are their characteristics. Do you know there is a girl who got in a relationship with a lesbian without really understanding what she was getting into? Why? Because we as girls sometimes we can be very kind to each other, romantic, hey babes, hi sweetheart. We do that a lot. And so this girl thought that is it. And so she was so specialized in this, and this is my bestie. Only for this girl now started touching her inappropriately, and pecking her the way this girl was feeling very uncomfortable. But this girl could not say no because this was her best friend, and she was so shocked. So she get into it and she knew it was wrong and she didn't know how to get out of it. So we don't even teach our girls how to protect themselves, how to get out of it. We don't teach them. And session two that will be held by Coach Barbara Bonimpa Kagambo, who runs, Lotta's event, an event organizing company, but also Bubbles Glam, where she teaches girls about beauty, both inside and outside, how to be beautiful both inside and outside, and teaches girls how to do makeup. So she's bringing all that experience, both in Uganda, that she has gained in Uganda and in Germany, to teach girls what's beauty, your emotions, media influence. Then she's, a celebrity, yeah. That's another conversation, but she's going to teach them how is she able to get in that environment where she's a voice in Uganda, and she's highly esteemed even at the US Embassy in Uganda, and helping them in their programs. At the same time, grounding herself. She's a Christian, a believer, and grounding herself. And that is My Future, My Choice, Value, Wisdom, and Relationship, that will be taught by Coach Tony. Coach Tony just came from, she was in the US, for a program where she was a teaching assistant, and before that he was teaching at Moifosis Academy, world experience. He's an author, and he supports parents. He has worked with KCF, focus for them that are Christians, to understand those bodies. And the fourth day, which is my best, because I'll be handling the first session and the second, handling pressure and being grounded. Being grounded is, how can she stand against the pressure, peer pressure, when people are getting into a space where they are challenging her boundaries, when she's feeling so stressed up. There is a girl who called me yesterday. Actually, one of the girls who has previously attended my program. They're actually on holiday in South Africa with their parents, and she called me on WhatsApp, and she was panting. She was feeling, Brent, I'm so stressed up, because now the friends who are back here in Kenya, they removed her from the group, and they blocked her, so she cannot understand. So I'll be teaching them how to be grounded when it comes to those, when life gives you lemon. How do you become grounded? How do you take the lemon? How do you make lemonade? When friends say they don't want anything about you, what do you do when your parents don't understand? That time they get to a point and say, Mommy doesn't understand. How do they communicate so that they ensure that their parents have heard and they have understood? Not only hearing, but understanding. This is where I'll be teaching them as well about schools. Have you ever had, especially for them that are in boarding school, Mommy, I want to transfer. Don't want to be in this school, but you really cannot tell why they want to transfer. They just want to go. Asking them why. No, I just want to go. The teachers are so stressing me. Like, the reason they are giving, you cannot really understand. So this is where I'll also be teaching. If really you want to transfer, this is how you communicate, give reasons, and justify. Because also parents don't have money to keep on dishing out whenever you want to transfer. All right. So handling pressure and being grounded will be the last class for this. Parent, why would you want your daughter to miss this class? For what reason? A class that will make her come out so confident, able to speak with you, communicate with you effectively, telling you exactly what is happening, what they need, and who is annoying them. And what we do even in this class is continuously reassuring them and emphasizing that parents are their safest space. However that looks like, whether you need to communicate in writing or chatting or voice note or telling them, you have to ensure that your parents understand this. Parents, why would you want your daughter to miss this class? For what reason? And these are some of the testimonials that parents have shared previously. Like the first one on your right, that for December 2024, last year. This was from a girl, a teenager, I think 17, 16 years old. She said, Good evening, Brenda. I want to take this opportunity to thank you once again for your time and coaching. You are an amazing person. During our sessions, effective communication really stood out for me, and how to navigate healthy relationships. It has helped me a lot on how to communicate with others and know the types of relationship that I should keep, and know when they are right. And these two will help for a very long time, and they are in school as well. I may not have said all, but thank you, and may you be blessed, and congratulations on your certification on CC, and Merry Christmas. This was last year. They knew about a certification I got. This is a girl. This is a 17-year-old girl. And this is a tool that I was talking about. When your daughter knows now I can communicate effectively. And this is how to communicate, not only in general, not only in life, but also in school. Types of relationship. She now understands. All right. And this was unsolicited. Like she just dropped this on December 24th. So clearly we were not running this program. I think ended the second week of December, the first week of December. All right. And she decided to drop this on 24th. And on my left, or on your left, these are parents who say, good Brenda. This was greeting. Apologies for the late response. Feedback from her. She says she's now fully aware that the mind creates unreal scenarios and that not everything she thinks is her mind tells her. Nowadays, she looks at things and interacts with us with a very open mind. Before, she will not give us room for negotiation, but she is now open to everyone giving their opinion. Then we agree on the best way forward. Keep doing what you are doing. You are helping so many of us. Parent, why are you not the one who will be saying this by the end of August? That your daughter is now listening to, that your daughter can now understand, you can now have conversation with your daughter. Why are you not the one to give this kind of testimonial? why why can't I use your testimony next time, because of the changes that will have happened in your daughter and the impact that you'll have seen in the program? For the parent, this one I think was a 2 days program, 3 days, I think, two thereabout. For this girl, this was a 4 weeks. It was a program I ran every December for student for 16, 17 and 18 years old. That's, yeah, it was a longer time. So why are you not bringing your daughter to this class? And this is it, Fearless Girl program, 13 to 17 years, not for every girl. Real talk on sexuality and identity. And there goes our coaches, Coach Brenda Karimi, Kenya, Coach Tony Tabari, Kenya, and Coach Barbara Mbonipa, K, Uganda and Germany. This program is going for only 10,000 Kenyan shillings for the 4 days. All right, 10,000 for clarity, 10,000 for effective communication, 10,000 for a grounded girl, 10,000 Kenya shillings for a girl who will improve her communication. So no more stress with you. She will speak what she needs to speak to you. She will let you know respectfully. 10,000 for a girl who is now able to have boundaries in schools, not people taking advantage of her. 10,000 for a girl who understands what lesbianism is, how to create boundaries, how to respect them and not allow them to get into their space. 10,000 for a girl who is be well equipped, who will have know how to advocate for herself. Like, no, it's a no, and yes, it's a no. 10,000 not only for this program, 10,000 not only for your teenager, but the moment she gets these tools, these are lifelong skills that she gets to help her navigate life, to help her become more equipped, to help her even way after she's done with school or she's above 18. So you're not paying 10,000 for the 4 days only. You are paying 10,000 for transformation. And why am I so passionate about this? Because this is a program that I've seen making sense to people, making sense to families getting their smiles back, parents becoming more confident again, parents getting their peace of mind. So you're also paying 10,000 for your peace of mind, 10,000 for your clarity as a parent, 10,000 knowing that your daughter is in safe hands. That is what we are paying. 10,000 for all that. So don't look at, oh, the 4 days, oh, now 3 facilitators. Look at the long term effect and impact of this program on your girl. I have done this and we have done this for a very long time. So it is not something that we are trying out with you. Do I get many girls in class? No. We just need 20 girls for this class, and it will be purely on first come, first served. Not everybody. Why? Because we want to give them specialized attention, answer each and every question. I know it's going for 7:30 to 9 p.m., but I can assure you for sure, sometimes this class goes up to 10 p.m. Facts. And no girl drops. Apart from one in last month, we had one from China, and she was joining our class when it was midnight. So sometimes she'd go to sleep past 2 a.m. China. So if China, they are joining, we had a girl from South Africa, parents. We had a girl from Nigeria. We had a girl from Malawi. Why not you if you are in Kenya and you know for sure this is a program that your daughter really needs? So if it's 10,000 for a value packed impact. Now, this is where I risk most. This is where I risk parents. I always tell parents, and you know you can find me on my social media, especially on Facebook. I'm so loud. I am available on text. If the second day your daughter doesn't get value from this program, I guarantee 100% money return. No, nothing. No conversation, no questions. Second day, your daughter attended the first day, the second day, full time, no value, 100% money guarantee. Has it ever happened? No. But I always tell parents this so that if your daughter doesn't get value, me, I return your money because I'm not really here to, to get money from you. I know the needs that girls are going through. I know how hurting they are. I know how hurting parents are. And I want to help you. So if I'm not helping, so what business am I, in your bank account? Really, I don't have, any business. And this is my own commitment personally as Brenda. Okay. But not only that, I'm also giving you more bonus at no extra cost. Private parent debrief. You get this session, we will have an extra session. You pay for the 10,000 extra session to upgrade what were the questions that were being asked. How now can you support? From this point, now we have had the conversation. What have you taught them? How can we as parents now move on? This is a bonus class that I'll give you. Bonus two, one-on-one mentor check-in, limited for only 5 parents. So the first 5 parents will pay. I will have one-on-one time virtual with your daughter after the class. All right, because they ask questions, they speak. I will pick from that and have a one-on-one, which becomes very sweet because we have already established a relationship, a rapport. So it becomes very easy. And if there's a question that you'll have asked in class, we will follow it up one-on-one at no extra cost. And number three, a free guide on understanding her world. This is not a book. I said it's a guide. It's a 17-page guide that will help you understand what exactly happens in the mind of my daughter as a teenager. How can I support? And parents, all this, no extra pay. So there is a bonus for the first 5 parents, one-on-one mentor check-in. I will have conversation, either me, Tony, or Barbara, have conversation with our girls, the first 5 parents. But then the first bonus on parent debrief, purely free. The third one, purely free. For only 10,000. Who wants to take this? Who wants to be the first 5 parents that we can have a conversation with your daughter one-on-one and try to help her and even support her to become the best version of herself? This is it. Make the payment, the pay bill account. If you can't make it right now, grab especially the 5 bonus, the first 5 parents who will be able to have conversation with your daughter. Parents, without being proud or anything, there's no girl who has ever gone through our hands Smart Girl program and they remain the same. And I know parents who have attended previous programs, they are here and they know they can testify. That is why someone said several times, and this is not the last class that I'm having with you. Remember, I said next week I'll be teaching about sexual grooming. Not from what you know, not from what is written on what is in YouTube, but from a girl's perspective. How do they receive those conversations? When the groomers are doing the thing, how do girls receive it? And how can you support them as a parent? Who has made the payment, parent? Let me check your questions. I'm seeing quite a number and I want to answer all of them. Please make the payment. Be the first parent or the first 5 parents that I will intentionally look out for your daughters to have conversation with. Which ages? 13 to 17 years. That is my number. Let me share it. I would appreciate a WhatsApp message. We can book a time as opposed to calling me randomly. You may not find me. So book yeah, age please, which age? It's 13 17 years. How much? It's 10,000. What ages for the webinar I've mentioned? Yes, can we join the WhatsApp group? Yeah, please you can join. Who shared the who shared the link? I think they're able to share. Thank you, Gladys, for sharing. Thank you so much, Gladys. Will you engage them about sexually transmitted diseases, especially about AIDS? How do they understand about it? Truth be told, I like being very honest. We may not get into sexually transmitted diseases because that's another whole conversation and another whole training. But we will mention as a way of, like creating awareness. If you have sex, this is what happens. There are these diseases that are there. So, but we may not really get into the details of STDs. Okay, we will not get into that truth. How much is the pay? I have another meeting. Maybe you're here. Oh, I dropped that question. Hmm. Thank you, ZP. Thank you for making the payment well received. So that means inbox me. Please forward this message to my WhatsApp. That's my number that I've shared. Um, that means I will make a call, ZP, specifically even for you. Before I even start the class, I will want to understand what was your daughter. This is not part of the bonus, but these are things that I do for fun because I want to understand how is your daughter, where is she coming from? And so when I'm having this, when you're preparing for these program topics and everything, I'm having your daughter in mind so that you address the actual need. So thank you, ZP, for making the payment. Who else is making the payment? Who else is making the payment, parent? Please do it. You will not regret. 2 days, your daughter doesn't has not got any value, 100% money guarantee return. Without questions, I'll not ask you why. As long as you'll have joined the first day, actively participated, the second day, actively participated, no value, money return. That is, parent. I don't negotiate on that. Let me see. Yes, Mark, this is from YouTube. It's virtual. It's virtual via Zoom. It's virtual via Zoom for the 4 days. Again, Barbara is in a different country and place, so she can only log in. Is there any parent who is a question? I'm just giving you because now we have four parents who are remaining for them to get the bonus of me having a call with their daughters. Is there any other parent before I close it? Or you have any question or clarification, parent? You want me to explain something? No, there is another parent. I've just received a notification. There's another parent who has made the payment, but I don't know whether you're from YouTube or you're from YouTube. If you are from YouTube, please use the number on the screen. There is a Airtel number on screen and send me the payment confirmation message so that I don't lose you. Um, Ruth Makori, thank you. The easiest way for me, thank you, Ruth Makori. The easiest way for me is for you to send me a WhatsApp on this because you know this call will drop 0733179990. Yeah, please forward that so that you pick the conversation. The second, is there any other parent? You feel my daughter needs this. I know there is a parent who has the money on phone or in your bank, but you're like, are these people really legit? Are these people really serious? Will they get value? Is this not a lot of money? It is not. What's the cost of your daughter not attending this class? Ask yourself, what is the cost of your daughter not attending this program? And I'm talking to a parent who has the money, but you're not so sure. Will she want to join in? That's another thing. Parents are afraid that their daughters will not want to join in. Now, listen, there is no girl who the only girl who will comfortably come back to my class is a girl who has previously attended my webinar, my classes, my program. Those ones have no problem, they join. But if she has never attended most of them refuse, especially 16, 17, 18. They refuse because they're like, it's a mentorship, it's another boring class, it's another class that you're going to be told not to have boyfriends, da 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 da, it's a boring. I have found that, and this is what I do. I have conversation with the girl. I tell the parent, you pay. Let me have a call with the girl. Myself as Brenda, because sometimes you misrepresent my program's parent. You go and tell her, there is another mentorship there. I want you to join. Man, this is not another mentorship program. This you are dealing with Coach Brenda, Coach Tony, Coach Barbara. So if you misrepresent my program, if you misrepresent Smart Girl, they will not like it. But if you have a conversation with them, they definitely, you know, they definitely join. And oh, thank you, Barbara. I'm excited and looking forward to coaching your daughters. Barbara is an amazing, amazing coach. Amazing, and we met with her in Texas, during the Mandela Washington Fellowship under the US State Department. Amazing, amazing believer. Is there any other parent? There is another parent, I think, was made the payment. If you don't send me the message or put it here, I may lose you. I may lose you. I may lose you. And Coach Tony, we did with him a program while he was in the US. Of course, it was virtual. I'm not so sure, was it last year? Yeah, I think he had a session on how to have an easy life in boarding school. I have that program as well. And he was one of the coaches, and he did amazing, amazing. Him being a teacher and being in that environment and knowing how, these teenagers behave in school, it really came in handy for the girls, and they felt they were heard, they felt someone understands, and they were like, oh, even you, so you teachers see actually what we go through. And that's the beauty of it. When is the deadline for paying the amount, ma'am? It's not deadline, it's when the class will be full. We get 20, we close it. Okay. Can I pay tomorrow? Just wanted to get the bonus, please. Mark, yes, you pay tomorrow. We have three parents who have paid three. One, I'm not so sure because I don't know if they're paying for a different program. Yeah, yes, Mark, you can. You can. That's my number. Drop me a WhatsApp message and tell me you want to pay tomorrow. So 9990. I have shared my number on YouTube as well. My number is on YouTube as well. Please drop me a message. So I've shared my number on YouTube comment and also here on Instagram. Is there any other parent who wants to make the payment? Is there any? I don't want to close you up. I really want the best for your daughter. I said we do this as a passion, it's purpose, and God has given us the grace. So it's not what we call kubahatisha. It's something that we have done, we have tested, and it is working. We are not starting now. We have been in this for 10 plus years. Of course, we started with boys and girls, and then we now are with girls. This is the 8th year purely doing girls program, and we have program from the age of 9 all the way to 26, different programs. So preteens, teenagers, we have around 4 programs that we run during the uh, across the year. Then we have another one for high schoolers, them that are going to uni, and then we have ones that are in uni, and we have them that are transitioning to employment. So we are working. The moment you give us your daughter at the age of 11, we are going to give you back 26 when she's 26 years old, and she'll be so refined, and I've just shared with you some of the testimonials that we have received from parents. Valeline, tomorrow, Ndongo Faith, the pay bill is on the screen. Please confirm if you can see it. The pay bill is on the screen. Can I pay tomorrow? Just wanted to get, yes, pay tomorrow as well. Nervous system, can we have smart boys? Not at the moment, not in this class, but of course we are working out something with Coach Tony so that we see how we can also reach out to boys. So parents, thank you so much for being here. Really, really excited. Oh yeah, iPhone says I hope someone out there continue mentoring and coaching, um, and continue mentoring and coaching the boys out there who engage our beautiful girls in school. Yes, Coach Tony is one of them. he deals with boys as well. So yes, there are quite a number of people that that are willing. Linda, I'm interested, but I'm so broke. How I wish. Linda, because of your honesty, bring your daughter to class. We will, as coaches, me, Tony, and Barbara, we will take care of that cost. Bring your daughter to class. Thank you for being very honest. You will not pay anything. Bring your daughter to class. Inbox me, Linda, for being very, very honest. Thank you, Ruth. Seeing that your payment, God bless you. So thank you so much, parent. Do we have any do we have another WhatsApp group? Yes, we do. Let me get it right away. Let me get the WhatsApp group right away for you to join in a few. Oh, here we go. Groups. We have quite a number of groups, parents, and I'm glad that you joined us. It's not too late. It's not too late. You learn a lot on what is happening. I share a lot of information. Next week, I'll be teaching you about grooming, and I mentioned not from where you know or what you know, but from a point of girls and understanding. That's the other group. Tricia, that's another group. Wangoi, thanks for supporting Linda. Be blessed. Yeah, our goal is just to help girls. Our goal is to help girls. That's our goal. And we have rewarded Linda because she has been very honest and, open. She has opened up. Um, so thank you very much. We have come to an end. I was just buying time so that we get how many number of parents will get the bonus. Really, really appreciate you. Have a lovely, lovely night. See you again next week. See you again. Please don't miss. Every day is something new, and I will also share some information about the next class so that you get to understand how are we are teaching our daughters now from a point of understanding, right? Yeah, from a point of understanding. So don't miss next week class. I will definitely be sharing it out. I'll be sharing it out in our WhatsApp groups. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you. And I always end up saying our daughters will be everything that God wanted them to be. The enemy will not steal anything. I always say that we will pray for our children and we will coach them. We will pray for our children and they will join mentorship programs. We will pray for our children and they will also go for therapy because we are not taking their lives for chances. It's not one or two, it's all coaching, prayer, mentorship, Bible study, laying hands, whatever that means or whatever that looks for us as parents. We are going to do that because God has given them to us as custodians. God has allowed us to have these children so that we can get them, you can make them and push them so that they achieve their purpose, so that they solve the needs of this world. That's the desire of our God. And so we should not look at our children as just some random creature that, we gave birth to. That's a whole generation. That's a whole purpose. That's a whole God's agenda. And now that's what the devil is fighting. The devil wants to fight their destiny. The devil wants to steal them. The devil wants to confuse them. The devil wants to bring a strained relationship between you and them. And he will use the slightest thing. He'll use human weaknesses, human, nature. He'll use everything that is around us. He will use their teenage, stage just to cause some confusion but we are not going to allow. We are not, the way I pray for these girls, there is no girl who goes through my hand who will remain the same. No, no, no. No girl who goes through Coach Barbara's hands or Coach Tony's. The good thing, we are all believers and we pray for these girls. That's an added advantage. Of course, I didn't start by mentioning that, you know. Um, yeah, so thank you very much. You have a lovely night and see you again next week. Coach Judy Wanjiro, can I listen? I'll be sharing the link in our WhatsApp group of the YouTube because it's on YouTube. So thank you. Have a good night and God bless.